For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Ooh, the sound of bliss.
Blissful listening.
Hey y'all.
Hey everybody. We are back.
That's Caroline over there.
Oh, that's April over there.
And it's just us. We don't have any guests this week.
And this is Bloody Happy Hour.
It is.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hope you are thirsty.
Oh.
And we hope
who's
you're
not thirsty?
Ready.
Yeah, they're ready and they're thirsty.
Are we gonna do a little bit of Christmas story today?
We're gonna do some. You can call it homicides for the holidays.
Okay.
You can call it murder under the mistletoe.
Oh.
You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's just activity that happens during Christmas time that is tragic.
We're very anti-Hallmark movies.
I mean, all that is popping up on my Hulu right now.
Block.
Block.
I hate it.
This is what I do. I will watch them. Well, that's because I'm a fan of one person. But anyways, I'll watch some of the movies because it's when I'm wrapping gifts. So I guess last year I did it and I had like Christmas movies on. I was just going to and then when you watch one, you get sucked into it. And then you want to watch another one.
There are some, I don't like just the, Hallmark and the Lifetime movies that come, but there are some classics. What would be a Christmas movie? Elf?
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Did you know that you can actually go stay in the Home Alone house for $25? That's a little suspicious because I feel like $25 is a little low.
Maybe you just get one room.
I don't know.
Maybe they rent out all the rooms.
So you have, all these different people staying there for 20 I don't know how that's working.
Then it's like a hostel. Or
yes.
Wait, what's the other kind of house we were talking about? Hostel or
a brothel?
Brothel. It's either or. Brothel's probably more fun.
Yeah, let's just go have sex with everybody while we're there. Why not?
Why not?
So there's Home Alone is absolutely my favorite, but I just need to watch the first one. I don't need to go to 2 and 3.
Okay.
And 4 and 5 and 6.
Speaking of Macaulay Culkin, whatever his name is, in American Horror Story this season. Did you see him?
No. He's what? I haven't.
He's in the new season of American Horror Story.
What?
Check it out. He still has a little baby face.
Well, he got to where he was kind of he was drugged out, and then I think he kind of got back to his normal.
Yeah, because he's filled out in the movie, but he plays a drug addict, so he looks like a drug addict.
Well, I feel like maybe he's trying to have his comeback.
Yeah. Let him have it. I love a second chance.
What other Christmas movies do you like to watch? Christmas Vacation. Obviously, I have to watch that one.
No, what is that? With the
I can't. I'm leaving.
Crazy Family?
I'm done.
In the station wagon?
Yes.
No. No, that does not go on the list.
Oh.
But the Santa Claus does.
With Tim Allen?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I cannot.
1, 2, and 3 that goes.
No.
And that's probably it. Elf, Grinch.
Both Grinch. Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
This is important information.
Yeah, really. But I don't want to give it too much time because I literally hate Christmas movies.
Listen, she is the Grinch.
I might be. I don't know why.
She does not have a Christmas tree up.
I'm not putting one up this year.
I feel like she's Jehovah's Witness.
I just turned into one. I always threaten my kid.
So I gotta look it up.
And then this bitch was like, wait, who's Jehovah? That's Jesus. She was like, who is Jehovah and why does he need a witness? And I was like, oh my God. On the Marco Polo.
I did.
Yes. Pray for her.
Okay. Well, listen.
I need you to do some Hail Marys for that.
First of all, how am I supposed to know he's Jehovah? Who calls Jehovah?
It's all in the Bible.
Okay, well, when you're Catholic, you don't really read the Bible. You just
True. I'm going to give you that.
I read the kids' storybook Bible.
Yeah, and
to know the stories. And I didn't realize how much I was missing out on just because I was raised a Catholic.
Can you get an app or something? I'm going to get you a Bible for Christmas.
I'm not going to read it.
Are you going to be allowed?
No.
Are Catholics allowed to have a Bible?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
We just don't read from it, I guess, at church. Because we have our own little book. It's like
who made that?
It's like a
Pope John Francis.
Pope John Paul III. I don't know. I don't even know who the Pope is right now. He's like, well, this one is have you ever heard of it's Tiede. It's spelt in a certain way, so I didn't know if it was Tiede or Tiede, but it's Tiede.
Okay.
Tiede.
What is Tiede?
This is the family who we're talking about. This is the Tiede family murder.
Okay.
Murders.
Multiple.
So we have, it's Christmas. It's 1990. So I'm like, it's like the other day.
The other day, yeah.
But then I realized it's like 30 years ago.
I know. And we still think of 30 years ago of the 70s.
No, I still think, yes, that's right.
Yeah. So everybody's still, we just live in the 90s still.
I know. Can we just go back? I guess we can't. So, we have Kaye and Rolf Tiede. So they were a married couple. Kaye the wife, Kaye the mom, Rolf the dad.
Okay.
They're married, and they actually lived in Texas, but they had a cabin in Utah. So it was in this, it was kind of close to Salt Lake City. It was a little outside of Salt Lake City. And this was the spot where their family would go to get away, relax, spend time together. And they would go there every year for Christmas.
Okay.
So they'd go there a little bit before Christmas Day, spend a lot of time, and the family would come in, and then they'd also stay a little bit.
All meet.
Yeah.
A bunch of the family would meet there.
So this cabin is it's in the middle of nowhere.
Deep.
It's 2 miles off of the main road. And at this point there's no other houses even close. There's a river that runs by the house. I mean, it's completely secluded, and to where you have to park, there's this garage where they park their car on the main road, and then they would get the snowmobiles out of the garages, and they would have to snowmobile from the main road to the cabin. So it was a 2 mile, because that's how secluded.
That's the only way you can get there.
Yeah.
That is never a good idea.
I mean,
I don't know how they thought this was a good idea.
I thought it sounded great.
I really never want to go into a cabin and ski in the snow like that.
You just don't want to be cold.
Well, but I don't want I don't want to be lost in the snow and everything's white and you don't know where you're going. I already don't know where I'm going. I've been in Waco my whole life.
You're just following the trail and going from the road to the cabin.
If I did, I want to be right on the main road.
Well, they're right off the main road.
2 miles?
Yeah.
In the snow?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a good idea.
Listen, it was tranquil. Okay?
Okay.
So this is what they did. They would drive the snowmobiles there, and they're like, we're just going to have our best Christmas. They have 2 daughters, Tricia and Linae.
Okay.
Tricia is 16, Linae is 20. And then, so that's who they have with them. They also have Kaye's mom, Beth. So they have mom, dad, 2 kids, and grandma.
Okay.
Right? And they go to the cabin. They have the tree set up. They have presents wrapped. They have the whole thing going on. And they're like, oh, we need to do a little bit more shopping. So they decide they'll go into town and get their shopping done. So this is this is what they did. they drive the snowmobiles back to the main road, get in the cars. But what they would do is they would take 2 separate cars. So the family would actually take, when they even flew there from Texas, they would fly separately, meaning like dad would fly with one daughter and mom would fly with another daughter. So then if something happened to either one of them, like they would still have a living parent.
So that if the plane went down,
yeah,
they all wouldn't die.
Yes, I guess. Because apparently the grandma had been in a car accident with her husband, with grandpa, and grandpa died. And so the mom and dad were like, we don't ever want to travel together because we don't want the chances of both of us dying and leaving our kids alone. That's crazy. I know. That's real deep.
Anxiety.
So
type
the
stuff.
whole point is when they left to go to town to go shopping, they took 2 separate cars. So it was grandma, mom, and one of the daughters, Linae, and it was dad and Tricia.
Okay.
So they went separately to, do you like all my hand motions?
I know.
I'm so into it right now. I'm dancing. So that's what they would do. So they took these 2 separate cars. They went to go, shopping. On their way back, they get in the snowmobiles, they grab all their packages and all the stuff, and they head to the cabin, right? They grab all the stuff that they bought. Head back to the cabin, and Linae, so it's Linae, mom, and grandma. Mm-hmm. Linae's like, my hands are getting a little cold, so let me just go inside. She needed to warm up her hands, and she's like, hey, is it okay if I go warm up my hands, and I'll come right back out and help y'all get all the stuff and bring it inside? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So she goes in, she's like going up the stairs, and she like looks back and she kind of notices like corner of her eye. She's like, there's some like, did I just see like a weird shadow or something like went behind the refrigerator? And so
somebody's in the house.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I thought I saw somebody like in a gray sweatshirt. And then she's thinking, okay, maybe it's like some of our cousins and maybe they just got here and they're like trying to play a trick on me and like, hey, surprise, and jump out and blah, blah, blah. Well, she was wrong. It was not a cousin. It was not anybody trying to play a trick on her. It was actually a guy in a gray sweatshirt with frizzy hair who jumped out from behind the refrigerator with a gun and held it to her face.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
This is daughter? Who is this?
This is daughter.
Okay.
This is the 20-year-old daughter, Linae.
Okay.
So the guy just points his gun at her and is like, tells her to like walk over here and like has the gun at her back and tells her to like yell for her mom and for her grandma to come in the house. And she says, she's like, tells them to come in the house, but she also says there's a burglar, but it doesn't matter. They still come in the house.
Okay.
So it doesn't do anything. So they come in, mom and grandma.
I mean, they can't run to their car or run to the road. It's 2 miles away. See why I would need to be right on the road?
Well, they still have the snowmobile.
They go 0 miles an hour.
Oh, I'm sure they go at least 15. So they walk in, and there's another guy.
Oh, 2.
Guy with glasses. I'll give them names at the end.
Okay.
So we have frizzy hair guy with sweatshirt.
Okay.
And we have guy with glasses.
Okay.
So guy with glasses, as mom and grandma walk in, guy with glasses goes over and he points his gun at them. And they're like, what do you, like, they put their hands up. What do you need? What do you want? I'll give you anything, like, whatever. They don't even respond. And within seconds, shoot mom.
Oh, God.
Shoot mom. Then she falls to the ground. And then within other seconds, they shoot grandma. Shoot her in the head. Grandma starts to get back up. Shoot grandma again. She falls down.
Oh, mama and grandma.
Shot grandma a 3rd time.
Why? What's grandma gonna do?
She ain't gonna do nothing. And they just keep shooting at her. So then Linae is just standing there. Daughter's standing there. She's just like in shock, obviously. I mean.
Yeah.
So then all she can think of in her head is like, oh my gosh, my dad and my sister are about to come in on this because they're in their snowmobile and they're about to come in. So she's like, I didn't know what to do. The guy is holding the gun at her back and he like puts her in a room and like tries to tie her up and like put a sock in her mouth so she won't say anything or doesn't start yelling.
Okay.
Well, then Dad ends up coming. They end up coming up to the driveway to the like garage area, and frizzy hair guy has Linae tied up or is tying her up. Well, then glasses guy comes out and is starting to point the gun at Dad.
Okay.
Well, then he's like, Dad starts, what do you want? Same thing as Mom did. It's like, oh, what do you want? Gives him $100, empties his pockets, and then his daughter's on the back just kind of sitting there like in shock. And then frizzy hair guy tells glasses guy, shoot him. Shoot Dad. Shoot Dad.
Shoot him. He's the biggest threat.
Yeah. And so he doesn't shoot him. So at this point it's like he's almost scared, and it seems like, as far as like what I've read, it's like the glasses guy almost just didn't want to really do any harm because so far it's been frizzy hair guy who's shot everybody.
Okay.
So frizzy hair guy has Linae tied up, and so he brings her with him outside to go shoot Dad because the other guy. So he points his gun at him and he shoots and it clicks. No fire.
Oh.
He shoots again and it clicks. No fire.
This is who?
Frizzy.
Frizzy, okay.
And then he shoots again, and on the third shot, it fired.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the third, and, then he shot in the face. Shot him in the face. So Dad goes onto the ground. He's just laying there.
Okay.
So now you have the two daughters who've just...
And it's just them.
And it's just them, and they're with these crazy guys. Okay. So apparently these guys had been in the cabin for a while, like the whole time they're out shopping. And they hung out in the cabin. They ate the food. They laid in the beds. They put on some of their clothes. I mean, they like had no fear. They
There's no telling how long they were there.
Nothing. And they also, and the police ended up finding this evidence. There was a video camera, VHS, VCR, whatever, on the coffee table. And there were some tapes. So they ended up watching the tapes, and they found that these guys had, not only had they they ransacked, they ate all, it was just a mess. The house was a complete mess. They had videotaped themselves opening the Christmas presents that were under the tree.
And making fun of it.
They were just opening the presents.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember hearing that.
You should see this guy. He looks like a clown. He has frizzy hair. It's I don't know. It's awful. I can't wait to post a picture because he's just so gross. So, then at this point, they're leaving evidence everywhere. And obviously they don't care, but it's everywhere. They're not trying to hide anything.
Mountain men, hillbillies.
Awful. So now they're like, okay, well, we got to get rid of the evidence. So what do the snowmobiles take? What does it take to get the snowmobiles to run? It takes gas.
Okay.
So in the garage, there's gas cans. And so they're filled with gas.
Okay.
So the guys are like, let's just burn down the house. So they start pouring this gasoline everywhere. They douse the whole house. And they douse the dad.
Oh, no.
Head to toe. So they pour gasoline everywhere, and they set the cabin on fire. And they pack up.
Is this Christmas Eve? When is this happening?
The 22nd.
Oh my goodness! Right before Christmas.
Yeah. It could have. Okay. Yeah. 22nd. So they ended up. They have the girls. They're like, hey, pack up all the stuff that they wanted to steal, and then they get the girls to. One of the guys actually goes back over to the dad and shoots him again in the back of the head just to make sure that he's dead. Okay. And dad's not moving at all. He's just laying there. So they're like, he's dead. So they start the fire. I mean, and it's really cold, right? It's it's Utah. It's, I don't know.
Snow everywhere. I mean,
snow everywhere.
Snowmobile.
Yeah.
So
I mean, your
it's real
snowmobile,
cold.
let's just say. So they pack up the snowmobiles. They have the girls drive because they want to make it look like that the girls are driving them, right? So the girls drive. They go back out to the main road. And as they're getting to the main road, they get to the gate, or they get to the main road, and they ended up heading to the car. And on the way there, they see their uncle, Randy. Okay. So he like is starting to walk over to where they are, or they're like just slowly driving, I guess. And he's walking over, trying to like wave at them, and they like completely ignore him. They don't make eye contact with him. Nothing. They don't do anything. And Randy's kind of like, he's just thinking like it's maybe these are the girls' boyfriends, and like they're just being teenagers. They're just acting whatever. And he just kind of brushes it off for a second.
Oh my goodness.
Then they get in the car, and the guy, so they get in the car, and one of the guys holds a knife to him and is like, I can do the same thing with the knife as I did with the gun, like trying to be all cool or whatever. Like, it's weird. So they all get in the car. One of the guys is driving, and they end up passing the uncle again. But the uncle at this point is like waving his hands, like kind of flagging them down to stop. And he sees one of the girls in the front seat and one in the back seat, and these two, and he's like, he just is like, this is really strange.
Yeah.
Like, this is odd. Something's not right. Well, literally less than 1 minute later, he like turns around and he notices there's another snowmobile coming from the cabin.
Don't say it.
It's Dad.
Is Dad Iron Man?
Yes.
Basically. Oh my goodness.
So Randy's looking, and he was like, who is this guy? He's driving on a snowmobile with no coat, no helmet, no gloves. His face is bleeding. His eyes are swollen shut. And he basically has like blood sickles.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it's probably like blood sickles.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So because it's so cold, it's almost like it's like it preserved his body from like bleeding out.
Okay.
So what happened was he survived the first shot and laid there and just like listened to what they were doing. What they wanted to do was they just wanted to steal a car, and they're like, we'll just drive the girls to New York, and they'll be our shields, and then we're gonna drive them to New York, and then we'll get rid of them there or whatever. Like, they just wanted to steal a car.
Like, nobody's gonna notice your hillbilly ass in New York.
Hell. So Dad survived the first shot. He lays there. Once they start pouring that gasoline on him, he was like, what is this? And obviously then he starts to smell it, and he's like, oh, they're going to try to set me on fire. And then they shot him again. But listen, apparently he was like fight mode. He was shot with a bird gun. Okay. Now, I know Hunter.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what a bird gun was. It's a type of shotgun.
Okay.
And apparently, a bird gun is a lot of small BBs that is spread out over a big area. And so it's not concentrated.
Okay.
And so it's very hard to kill anything bigger than a bird or like a dog.
Okay. So they weren't even true mountain men because they didn't even know what type of guns they had.
So what happened was they had been robbing other houses, and they were like stealing guns. So they're just stupid. It's just stupid, evil people. So Uncle Randy sees somebody driving up, bloody, shot, crazy, and then he realizes that it's his brother. And he's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And Dad was like telling Randy, he's like, somebody killed Kay, somebody killed Beth, which is Mom and Grandma. And they kidnapped the kids. And so Randy, he's like multitasking at this point. He doesn't know he's like, oh my gosh, I got to like save your life. I got to get the kids. Like, okay. So he's like, his brother needs immediate medical attention, and his nieces are getting kidnapped. So he gets his handy dandy bag phone. You know, the bag cell.
Yeah.
He got a bag cell phone. I'm assuming it's
Does
a bag
it work?
phone. It's like, well, so not only is it the 90s, so it's like, do you even have cell phone service? It's very limited. You're in the mountains, and also it's the 90s.
Another reason I don't want to go to the mountains.
So he ends up calling 911. He does get through. It takes him several times to get through. He gets through, calls 911, and
God.
he's like, basically, like, he explains what happened. He's like, the girls, he tells them where the girls are headed and what's going on with them. And he tells him he needs a helicopter as soon as possible for his brother. And then his phone dies. So he goes to the nearest
you just
gas
drove
station.
your ass all the way down there and you didn't charge it?
It's not. Maybe he had been using it that day. Maybe he's on Tinder.
He was on Tinder.
Match.com. I don't know. Probably
Grindr.
Craigslist back page. I don't know. Well, then, so he pulls the gas station, uses a payphone, calls 911 there, and like finishes and to tell them everything. So in the
meanwhile, they're already in New York because the cabin's miles from civilization.
Meanwhile, the girls are freaking out, obviously, and then they actually notice a police car pass them. The police car stops, turns around, and gets behind them. Yeah, that's the police car sirens.
Dude, I thought it was actually sirens here.
Yeah, that was my best sound effects. And so now the kidnappers are panicking. And this guy starts driving over 90 miles an hour.
That's smart.
He's trying to be like Henry Ruggs up in here going 100.
No. Yeah.
That was 125. So he's driving through roadblocks, this guy. And he goes about another mile down the road and he drives right off of an embankment and into a ditch.
They're in a regular car now.
They're in like this stinking like this Lincoln.
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
That's the pictures I saw. Yeah, they're in one of the parents' cars. Yes,
one of the two cars that they brought.
Yeah, one of the two cars they brought. So they crash into the embankment, and then the police surround the car. They have guns out, and they're like, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!" Well, then the stupid guys like point their guns back at the cops, like they're gonna do something, and the police like fired a shot, and which made
Probably in the air.
Yeah. Yes. And it made the kidnappers like surrender, and then they exited the car and they arrested him.
Yeah.
So at this point, the police they've gotten to the cabin. They're like surveying all the carnage at the cabin, and they find the bodies of Kaye and Beth. So what they did was they drug the bodies out, threw them over the balcony to where they're in the snow, and then they just covered them up with snow.
Oh no.
Like it's like they just like did what, like, oh, we'll just do this.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Terrible.
But really, why didn't you, if you're going to burn down the house?
It didn't even burn down the house. It just like only the top floor was on fire.
Because they were dumb and there was no wind to go in. So I remember hearing that like the doors were open, the doors were closed, the windows were closed, so the fire just went out.
Yes. Yeah.
It didn't spread.
Because when the cops went in, they were like, it looks a little smoky. And they're like, we noticed there was a small fire upstairs. So like nothing burned. Like it just, yeah. And so they ended up getting charged with, so they arrest the guys because, yeah, they surrounded their cars. They arrested the guys on December 24th is when they were charged. So the 22nd it all happened. They ended up getting charged. And they were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of Mom and Grandma, Kaye and Beth. 1 count of attempted first-degree murder for shooting Rolf, the dad, and then 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, arson, theft, failure to stop for police, and like other things.
Okay.
So, Rolf was taken to the hospital, and they found, like, so he was actually on fire at one point because he had all that gasoline on him, and he did get a little bit on fire, but he had run to the inside the house to like rinse himself off real fast. I don't know how
who did this?
The dad.
After all this.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
When did he do this? Say it again.
Well, so I was saying, like, at the time, once that helicopter had arrived, like he was able to tell the story to the doctors.
Yeah.
And his story was he somehow got caught on fire and he rinsed himself. I don't know how he even got up after he's being shot twice.
They must have been like pellet-ish guns.
I don't know, but it was
or
just.
he's Iron Man.
Yeah, it was Iron Man. It was just crazy that this guy like was able to do all of that and like be shot. You're doused with gasoline. You're a little bit caught on fire, and you go inside, get in the shower, rinse yourself off
And
to
then
get the
take your
fire
ass
off,
out in the
and then you
snow.
get on the snowmobile and you drive to the road 2 miles.
You're frozen. Because
Frozen.
you're wet now.
And you're wet. And
you're bloody.
And you're bloody. And
But he was just being a hero. He was going to save his kids. That's a parent for you.
I know.
Such a hero story.
The two guys, the murderers.
Yeah.
Vaughn Taylor, he was previously convicted for aggravated burglary.
Okay.
Edward Delly, he was previously convicted for arson.
Oh, so they just put their shit together.
Both had recently been released from prison and sent to a halfway house where they were like able to leave and go look for jobs. But they didn't. They started hitchhiking and they just started robbing cabins around before they hit the Tiede family cabin randomly. So they waited at their cabin because they knew that they were there. Like they knew the family was there in town, and they were like they just waited, and they were just going to wait for them to come home because all they wanted to do was rob and steal the car. That's all they wanted to do.
But this is their first time murdering.
Yeah. So you would think this is like a slam dunk case.
Oh, God.
Come on. I mean, it's not as, yeah. But so it was complicated because they had to figure out like how it all went down and who shot who and blah, blah, blah. They ended up with 8 felonies, which I've told you what everything was. But the family was really pushing for the death penalty for one or both of them.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 months later that Vaughn Taylor, this is frizzy hair guy.
Okay.
He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of capital murder. But the state dropped all other charges on him in exchange for a plea deal.
Oh, God.
And Taylor, frizzy hair, decided to go in front of a jury.
Glasses. Taylor, who's?
Vaughn Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, he decided to go in front of the jury, and they found him guilty on both counts. And so he was actually sentenced to 2 death sentences.
Who
2
had a plea
life
deal?
death sentences.
Glasses got the plea deal?
Oh, this is all frizzy hair guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Next was Delly, who's the glasses guy.
Okay.
So Delly's trial was after that, and the crazy part is that Dad had come into the courtroom, but they had no idea that he survived.
Oh.
They thought that he died. I don't know why he didn't go into the first one, but he went in there. They had no idea he survived, so he got to be face to face with the guy, and and that's when they found out that the only reason he survived was because they shot him with the wrong gun or whatever that bird gun is.
They found out they're a dumbass. They're almost as dumb as
but they did say
guys.
that yes. I'm doing the dumb case. I'm doing these dumb.
You're doing another Dumb and Dumber.
So they said the odds of surviving was like 1 in 1,000. But it was very gratifying for Dad to be able to face this guy and to like say what he needed to say.
Oh, I bet.
And this guy, glasses guy, Delly, ended up being charged with 2nd-degree murder, and he got life in prison.
Okay.
And it was 2nd degree because like the death penalty was taken off the table. I think there's like one juror couldn't agree to it or something like that.
Well, and he didn't do the shooting. It was all
Yeah.
hair guy.
And so in 2001, Delly wrote a letter to Linae, the oldest daughter, who was the one that was tied up, and that wrote a letter like just trying to apologize and to say that he'd grown up into a man. He was just a boy when he did the crimes, blah, blah, blah. And she eventually responded, but it was several years later. And she said like that she did that because she felt like she gained some freedom by choosing to forgive him, which a lot of people do. And then in 2014, the other guy, the frizzy hair guy, he tried to appeal his and it was rejected.
He's evil.
And he's on death row. So frizzy hair guy is Von Taylor.
Okay.
He is on death
evil.
row.
He's the evil one.
I think it
I
actually.
bet the other guy is like young. And
I think
just
he was the
going
one.
along.
Yeah.
He was the mastermind. I would think.
Yeah.
And so the young guy.
I actually think that they took and this happened in 2020. They removed death penalty from him.
From Von Taylor?
Yes.
Does Salt Lake City not do the death penalty anymore?
Possibly.
Dang Mormons. Put his ass to death.
Oh, that is what he had said, too. He said he thought he got an unfair trial because they were Mormons. That's what he said.
And he wasn't.
Yes. And so, but I mean, he still has life if he's not on death row. I would actually rather them just have life in prison with no parole than get the death penalty.
Yeah.
Because then they just have to suffer. So this is how we end the story. It's on a happy note. The family, they actually decided to go back to the cabin. And they ended up having like a funeral and everything. They had a double funeral.
Oh.
I know. And so they ended up redoing the cabin. They made it like better than it ever was before. And Linae and Tricia, they take their families and friends and they still go to the cabin. And
I bet Uncle Randy don't.
I don't know, didn't say.
And it took my ass back up there.
And so they ended up like they love going there and they consider it a place of healing.
Okay. To each its own.
And they just were like, we feel like this is the last place that our mom and grandma were, and that their spirits are here, and that they made it theirs again. And
they probably took ownership, like they didn't want to give the people that much control over the holiday and their lives.
Right. And if that's something that you did, I mean, that's like where you go I don't know, but another sad part is that sadly, Dad survived and he was Iron Man, and then he freaking got cancer.
Oh, I thought she was going to say COVID.
No. Well, that wouldn't have been too far off. But he got cancer and he died in 2008.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. He passed away from cancer. But like the girls, they've continued to move on, and they just believe this whole experience has brought their family closer together.
I wonder if they travel together with their spouses or if they travel separately with their spouses.
Listen.
But you know what? All that avoidance that they tried to do, they still ended up in a situation where they were all in danger together.
Yeah. Yeah. But it did spare a life. Like mom and dad, like mom died and dad survived.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean.
He's probably, oh my goodness. That's crazy. Hey, next week we're going to have another Christmas story for you guys. It is crazy. You'll never look at Santa the same.
Oh.
You'll never look at Santa the same. And
which is it like weird that it's like little kids go sit on a grown man's lap?
Yeah. I'm a Grinch about Christmas, but it's because I hate Santa.
What did Santa do to you, April? He didn't leave you cookies?
No, he took all the glory from the main reason for Christmas. He just took it over.
Well.
And he's most likely a pedophile.
He's definitely a pedophile. So
don't trust Santa. And my next story will give you a reason to not trust Santa.
So that's your
he's basically Lawrence Singleton. He's a big fat pedophile that likes little kids to sit on his lap and then eat cookies. You know what me and Trent used to leave him?
Coal. Zucchini.
Yes, carrots and celery, because we were like, he's gonna die. I was like, Trent
didn't like him either.
No, I just told Trent Santa was too fat. And I said, all right, you're gonna kill Santa, so you better leave him some celery and some carrots.
Because you didn't want to get your ass on there and bake cookies.
Or you are not gonna get presents if Santa dies from a heart attack.
Gosh, I don't know how he's even survived. Poor Trent. He needs to come to my house for Christmas.
And so I'll tell you what my father-in-law used to sing, because he didn't like really let his kids believe in Santa. He's like real older, so he used to sing this song. Y'all should sing it to your kids.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared.
It says, ain't no Santa, ain't no Claus, ain't nobody but your ma and pa. Isn't that the best country hillbilly song? That's my father-in-law for you.
And there you have it, guys. There you have it.
Ain't no Santa, ain't no Claus, ain't nobody but your ma and pa.
Ain't no Santa, ain't no Claus, ain't nobody but your mom and Paul.
There you go. Can y'all sing that to your kids?
Yep. Sing it now that you got it.
All
Don't
right.
forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes, go on right now. Leave us a 5-star review and tell us what you think about our song and the story. Tune in next week for another episode. And never, ever, 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 ever forget to...
Right. Oh, stay aware.
Stay alive.
And always be down to find Santa.
Down to find Santa's porn stash. Child porn stash.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.